Talks collapse, humanity leaves while the Galactic Council panics. Alex Carter walked through the wide corridors of the council station, his boots echoing softly against the polished metal floor. He looked around at the vast chamber filled with aliens from many worlds. Some had long, thin necks with shimmering scales. Others had skin like smooth crystal, changing color as they moved. A few had multiple limbs that they used to write notes or operate strange devices. Despite all the differences, there was a single feeling in the room: tension. Lily Morgan followed close behind, her eyes scanning the council members. She carried a tablet filled with data about human technology and trade proposals. She had practiced calm breathing, but even she felt the edge of nervousness. Across from them, alien delegates whispered and waved appendages at one another, clearly upset about something. Ethan Price, the youngest of the human delegates, adjusted his tie and approached the main podium. "We have come to discuss fair trade agreements and safe exploration routes," he said in a clear voice. "We wish to cooperate and share knowledge. We are not here to dominate or take from anyone unfairly." A loud, high-pitched voice interrupted. "Your people have already broken the rules." The speaker was Torek, a tall reptilian with jagged scales and sharp eyes. "You move faster than the law allows. You enter sectors without permission. You show strength we do not understand. It is dangerous." Alex stepped forward calmly. "We follow the laws we know. If mistakes happened, we can discuss and correct them. But we cannot slow our growth or stop exploring. Our people need space, food, and resources to survive and thrive." Some of the council members hissed and clattered their hands. Vina, the crystalline diplomat, glimmered brightly as she spoke. "They move too fast, Tarek, but they are also reasonable. If we speak carefully, we may find a solution." The room erupted in debate. Words echoed in many languages, some harsh and some musical, all translated by the station's universal system. Aliens argued that humans could not be trusted. Some claimed that humans would conquer planets and enslave species. Others reminded them that humans had so far only shared knowledge and built colonies peacefully. Lily took a deep breath and addressed the room again. "Humans do not conquer. We explore. We build. We share what we learn. You do not need to fear us." A small council member, Shalor, who had pale skin and telepathic abilities, leaned forward. "Do you not see, Vina? They say calm words, but their fleet grows every day. They could take any of our planets if they chose." Alex shook his head. "We do not choose to take. We choose to grow." "We have no desire to fight. Look at our actions, not your fear." The debate continued for hours. Humans remained calm. Every accusation was met with clear reasoning. Every demand was answered with patience, and yet the council members grew more nervous. Their whispers became urgent. Some argued in corners. Some walked out and returned with groups, speaking in frantic tones. At one point, Torek banged his clawed hand on the table. "Enough! You cannot be trusted. We must restrict your movement. We must control your fleet." Alex raised his hand. "If you try to control us, we will leave. We do not seek war, but we will not stay under threat."
"We will take our fleet and go quietly."
A murmur ran through the room. The council members exchanged shocked glances. They had never seen humans speak so directly. The calmness in Alex's voice made them feel unsettled. They were used to alien diplomacy, which often involved long negotiations, intimidation, and displays of power. Humans did not react the same way. Lily added, "Leaving is not a threat. It is simply a statement. We wish to be here, but we will not be trapped." The council chair, a massive being with multiple eyes, looked at the humans with suspicion. "Are you saying you will abandon the station? You will walk away from these negotiations?" Ethan nodded slowly. "Yes. We prefer to leave than to be forced into decisions we cannot accept." Whispers grew louder. Some council members ran calculations in their devices. Others argued that humans would be easier to control than to let go. The room was full of fear now, thinly covered by concern. Alex turned to the other humans. "Prepare the ships. We will leave if the council insists. Do so quietly. Do not provoke them. Let them watch us depart calmly." As the humans moved to their ship docks, the alien delegates' panic became more obvious. Small factions argued openly, some calling for aggression, others for negotiation. Torek paced rapidly, snapping his tail in frustration. "They cannot be leaving! We cannot let this happen. They are too powerful." Vina tried to calm the room. "Torek, this is not aggression. Humans choose to leave. We must respect their choice. Let us discuss this reasonably. but Torek ignored her. Reasonable? They are faster than reason. They build weapons, fleets, colonies. Do you not see the danger? Ethan whispered to Lily. They don't understand us. They never have. They think power is always about domination, but we are not like them. Lily nodded. Then we must show them what humans really are, not with war, but with patience and calmness. Let them see that leaving is not a retreat, but a statement of our values. Meanwhile, the humans worked quietly on the ship docks. Engineers and pilots moved with precision. Large transport ships powered up and exploration vessels adjusted their coordinates. No alarms rang. No angry shouts were made. Only soft mechanical hums filled the air. Alex stood on the observation deck and looked at the stars. We are leaving, but not in anger. We leave to show that we respect ourselves. That is what they do not understand. Below, the alien council erupted into chaos. Some factions demanded that weapons be deployed immediately. Others suggested sending spies to follow the human fleet. Some even whispered about secret attacks on human colonies. The fear in the room was so strong it could be felt across the station. Suddenly a small voice rang out. Shalor, the telepathic negotiator, spoke. Wait. Think. If humans are leaving peacefully, does it not show their strength more than any attack could? Torek bared his teeth. Strength? They leave because they choose. They are confident, and we are weak. That is not acceptable, Bina glimmered and said softly. Perhaps they are teaching us something. Calmness can be more powerful than fear. Perhaps this is the lesson we should learn. Alex, watching the chaos unfold, smiled faintly. He turned to Lily and Ethan. This is only the beginning. They fear us, and they do not understand what we are. Soon they will see that panic does not help them. Only clarity does. Hours passed. The humans continued their preparations in quiet efficiency. They did not shout. They did not argue. Their calm, steady actions contrasted sharply with the frantic, noisy council. Finally, the council chair raised all 6 arms in frustration. Enough! We cannot reach a decision while they sit quietly and prepare to leave. We are paralyzed. Alex stepped to the ship's entrance. He looked at the stars and then back at the station. We are ready, he said. Lily and Ethan nodded. Together, they moved aboard their ship. As the docking clamps released, the human fleet powered up. Engines glowed softly, and the hum of energy filled the station bay. Aliens watched in disbelief. Some whispered in fear. Some calculated what might happen if humans left fully unrestrained. Ethan spoke over the universal communication system. We leave not in anger. We leave to protect our future. Watch us if you wish. Learn from our calm, or be consumed by your panic. The choice is yours. The ships began to rise, one by one, into the starry expanse. Each movement was smooth, controlled, precise. The humans did not attack. They did not threaten. They simply moved with purpose. Inside the council chamber, Torek's tail lashed violently.
They leave. We cannot control them.
We cannot, Vina whispered, almost to herself. They are leaving, and yet they are stronger than any of us. Alex watched the last human ship leave the station and into open space. A sense of quiet triumph filled him. The humans had not forced anyone. They had not destroyed anything. They had only chosen to leave, showing strength through calmness, planning, and logic. The council remained in chaos, their panic growing by the minute. Aliens argued endlessly, some sending messages of fear to their homeworlds, others debated if they should follow, attack, or retreat. Humans had left quietly, but their departure had shattered the confidence of the entire council. Alex, Lily, and Ethan looked out at the stars. Ahead lay uncharted space, new worlds, and new opportunities. Humanity had survived this council not by force, but by intelligence, calm, and restraint. They knew that the galaxy would soon take notice. The humans left the station behind, but their presence lingered in the minds of the council members. Fear mixed with respect, panic mixed with awe, and far away, in the black void of space, the human fleet moved steadily, ready for whatever awaited them next. The human fleet moved silently through space. Their engines glowed softly against the black backdrop of stars. Alex Carter stood on the bridge of the lead ship, watching as smaller ships followed in perfect formation. Every movement was precise, calm, and orderly. There was no rush, no panic, only purpose. Lily Morgan checked the coordinates on her tablet. All ships are following the planned route, she said. No deviations. Communication lines are open. Colonies we planned are ready to receive supplies. Ethan Price leaned against the railing, his eyes scanning the horizon. "They will be watching," he said quietly. "The Council, Turek, Shalor, they are all panicking. They will try to guess what we are doing, and they won't understand until it is too late." Alex nodded. "Let them panic. We do not need to explain everything. Our actions speak louder than words. Calmness is our strength." The Council station was far behind now, a tiny dot in the distance, but the effects of humanity's departure were already clear. Across the Council networks, messages raced. Aliens argued openly. Ark demanded that the fleet be followed, blocked, or attacked. Shalor warned that any action could provoke humans into something dangerous. Vina, as usual, tried to reason, but her calm voice was drowned in panic and accusations. The humans moved toward a neutral sector, unclaimed and largely unexplored. It was an area of quiet stars and empty planets. Most alien races ignored it, thinking it unimportant. But humans saw opportunity. They could build new colonies here, safe from interference. On the lead ship, Alex addressed the fleet over the communication system. "We are not running from anyone. We are not abandoning our responsibilities. We are moving to ensure our growth and our future. Every colony we build, every system we map, is a step toward peace and stability, not war." Pilots and engineers worked silently, adjusting energy flows, monitoring shields, and checking life support systems. Humans were calm, almost serene, in contrast to the Council, which scrambled messages and orders across hundreds of light years. In the Council chambers, panic reached a fever pitch. Torek shouted again, "We cannot let them leave! If humans expand unchecked, they will be unstoppable. Attack! Follow, stop them!" Vina's soft voice cut through the chaos. "Torek, they leave peacefully. They do not attack. If we react in fear, we will only make things worse. Perhaps we should observe first, learn, and understand." But Torek would not listen. His tail lashed violently, scales rattling. "Observe, while they take everything we cannot? We must act now." Shalor closed their eyes, sending telepathic warnings to other council members. Panic blinds you. Humans act with thought, not impulse. If you act recklessly, the consequences will be yours alone. Meanwhile, the humans began settling new systems. Alex and Lily coordinated with colony teams. Planets that had been lifeless or underused were transformed into bustling communities. They built habitats, farms, and research stations. They planted crops, built water purification systems, and taught local species about cooperative systems. Ethan walked through one of the new colonies, watching humans and friendly alien species work together. Small robotic assistants moved materials. Humans instructed others with patience and clarity. "See?" he said to a visiting alien. "A small amphibious creature named Kalo. We do not rush. We do not panic. We solve problems calmly, together." Kalo blinked his large eyes. "Your ways, they are strange. But they are effective. Others panic."
You do not.
"That makes you strong." Back in the Council station, Torek's rage grew. "They are building while we argue. They are expanding while we panic. We are fools to think we can control them." Vina tried again. "Perhaps that is the lesson. Strength does not always come from weapons. Sometimes it comes from wisdom, organization, and calm." Torek hissed, ignoring her. "They must be stopped. They must be slowed." But the humans were already too far ahead. Their colonies were connected by advanced communications. Supply lines moved without interference. Observation posts kept track of nearby sectors. And all of it was done without aggression. Humans did not attack alien ships. They did not block trade routes. They only prepared, built, and expanded. Alex watched as a new planet came online, its cities lit with soft lights. He smiled at Lily and Ethan. "This is what the Council does not understand. We do not conquer, we do not dominate. We build, and in building, we grow stronger. We teach others to work with us, not against us." Lily nodded. "Every system we settle quietly shows our strength. The Council fears power through war. We show power through calm and action." Ethan added, "And we never panic. That alone terrifies them. They cannot predict us because we act with logic, not emotion." In the Council chambers, debates became desperate. Alien species argued over tactics, but every suggestion to attack was met with warnings of potential disaster. Some factions suggested secretly following the humans, spying on them, and gathering intelligence. Others warned that any interference might provoke humans into conflict. Torek's claws slammed the table again. We cannot watch them expand. We must do something. Vina's voice remained soft but firm. You already act. The humans move with purpose. Every action you take in fear is wasted. Calm observation may serve you better than panic, Shalor added. They teach without speaking. They expand without fighting. Every step they take reminds us how weak our fear makes us. Alex's fleet moved further into unexplored sectors. The humans made first contact with small alien settlements. They offered knowledge, medicine, and tools. They helped rebuild damaged habitats. Every act increased human influence peacefully. Lily recorded every interaction. We show kindness and competence, she said. They cannot accuse us of aggression, yet they cannot ignore our growth. Ethan watched as children from several alien species played together in a park built by humans. Robots delivered food and water efficiently. Everyone worked and learned together. This is what they cannot understand, he said. Humans can be strong without being cruel. We can lead without forcing. That is why they panic. Meanwhile, reports came in from observation drones. Torek's fleets were scattered, some patrolling, some arguing, some unsure what to do. Panic had spread to multiple factions. Aliens whispered warnings to each other. Vina's advice was often ignored. The more humans acted calmly, the worse the council's panic became. Alex, watching a map of newly colonized sectors, spoke to his team. Our actions are visible. They can see our fleets, they can see our colonies, but we do not threaten them. We show that humans are not to be feared as conquerors, but as equals. That is our message. Lily pointed at the map. And some alien species are already reaching out to us. They respect us because we act with reason. They want to join our colonies or trade. We are gaining allies without forcing them. Ethan smiled. This is how humans always work. Calm, steady, intelligent. Others panic. We prepare. In the council chambers, Torek grew more frustrated. We cannot stand by while humans grow. They move faster, think clearer, act more efficiently than we do. Attack them now. Vina's glow dimmed slightly. Attack them, and you show weakness. Calmly, they expand. Aggressively, you provoke them. Consider your choices carefully. Shalor sent a wave of thought across the council, hoping to warn others. Every act of panic feeds their advantage. Observe. Do not react. This is their strength. Alex's fleet reached a major unclaimed system. Humans began building an orbital station. It was large, efficient, and designed to help, not control. Engineers moved in organized teams. Habitats were constructed. Energy systems powered themselves without waste. Water and food supplies were secured. Lily walked through the station, checking systems. Everything is on schedule. Colonies are ready for incoming settlers. Communication links are active. Observation drones are functioning. Ethan joined her. It is amazing how much we can do calmly. If we panicked, it would be chaos. But with planning, patience, and discipline, we can achieve so much more. Alex appeared beside them, looking at the starry expanse. And the council? They still panic. They think force is the only solution. We show them it is not. They will learn that fear never beats clarity. Meanwhile, small messages arrived from alien species who had witnessed human actions. Some praised their efficiency. Some noted the fairness of their help. Others warned their governments not to interfere. Humans were building influence without raising a single weapon. Torek slammed a claw again. They grow while we argue. They win without fighting. This is unacceptable. Then his voice remained calm. Strength is not always in the blade. Sometimes it is in patience, in foresight, in reason. Humans understand this instinctively. Perhaps it is time we learned as well. Shalor whispered to a small group of delegates. Do not underestimate them. Their calmness, their planning, their order, this is their weapon. Watch carefully. Do not panic. Back in human space, colonies expanded. Small settlements became towns. Towns grew into cities. Trade routes opened. Schools taught not only humans but friendly aliens. Knowledge was shared freely. Every action demonstrated intelligence, fairness, and planning. Alex, Lily, and Ethan stood together on a balcony of the orbital station. This is the difference, Alex said. We act with purpose, not fear. We grow with care, not destruction. That is why they panic. They do not understand this type of strength. Lily smiled. And we continue to move forward, step by step, system by system, calmly, efficiently, peacefully. That is humanity. Ethan looked at the stars, thinking of all the unclaimed systems ahead. They will watch us always. But they cannot stop us. Not with fear. Not with panic. Only with calm, clear thought can anyone match humans. And few ever will. The council remained in chaos behind them, unsure how to respond. Some sent spies, others debated secret plans. A few quietly observed, realizing humans were something new in the galaxy, something different, something they could neither control nor ignore. Alex looked at the horizon. This is only the beginning. They will learn, slowly, that humans do not fight like others. We do not panic. We do not threaten without cause. We act. That is our power. And with that, humanity continued moving forward, leaving the panicked council behind, expanding into the stars with calm determination, building a future no fear could stop. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Torque paced back and forth, his claws clicking on the metal floor, scales shimmering with anger. They cannot be allowed to grow like this. Humans expand every day and we do nothing. We are weak. Vina, her crystalline body glowing softly, tried again to calm him.
Torek, their growth is not aggression.
They live peacefully. We are panicking unnecessarily. Observation, not action, is what we need. Shaller floated above the council table, their pale skin shimmering as their telepathic powers extended into the minds of other delegates. Do you not see? Every act of fear you make only strengthens humans' position. They plan, they act, and they grow without fighting. That is why you cannot control them. That is why you panic. Some delegates whispered quietly in corners, scared to speak openly. Others shouted over one another, suggesting fleets be sent immediately to intercept humans, block trade, or sabotage their colonies. Each suggestion was met with disagreement, confusion, or fear. Meanwhile, in human-controlled space, Alex Carter walked through a colony on a small green planet. The city around him was growing rapidly. Humans worked alongside friendly alien species to build housing, water systems, and farms. Children played in safe parks, while adults taught and learned from one another. Lily Morgan checked the energy network, ensuring that power flowed to every district. Everything is functioning, she said. Colonies are self-sufficient, supply lines are secure. Observation stations report no interference. Ethan Price smiled as he watched robots move materials and humans coordinate construction. They are panicking, and we are calm. That is our advantage. They cannot predict us because we do not act out of fear. They do not understand this type of order. Alex nodded. This is the strength they cannot see. Power is not always in fleets or weapons. Sometimes it is in calm planning, cooperation, and action. Back at the council, factions began turning against one another. Some blamed Torek for failing to act. Others blamed Vina for being too passive. Shalor's warnings went mostly ignored, but some smaller species began to whisper among themselves, realizing the humans' power without aggression. "Attack them!" Torek roared again, slamming a clawed hand on the table. "We are losing! They take systems while we argue. We must act." Vina remained steady. Attack would be reckless. Humans are not moving aggressively. Any move against them would provoke consequences you cannot calculate. Observe and learn, that is all you can do for now. Shalor added, "Every panic move you make reveals your weakness. Humans do not need to fight to win. They only need patience and planning. Observe and you may survive. Act in anger and you will fail." Meanwhile, humanity expanded steadily. Colonies became towns, towns grew into cities, and trade routes were built between planets. Humans shared their technology and knowledge with friendly alien species, earning respect without demanding obedience. Alex watched from the bridge of a large colony ship as the cities below grew. Every action we take is deliberate. We do not threaten. We do not attack. We simply build, cooperate, and expand. That is our power. Lily smiled. It is amazing how quickly we grow when we do not panic. Other civilizations would rush, make mistakes, fight among themselves. We simply act with care. Ethan added, and that is why they panic. They cannot predict calm. They cannot match efficiency without chaos. That is why humans will always have an advantage. Back in the council chambers, minor skirmishes broke out. Some alien factions sent small fleets toward human observation posts. Humans, however, responded only with precise deterrence. Energy shields activated, warning lights flashed, and alien ships were gently blocked from entering restricted zones without damage. No lives were lost, no weapons fired. The humans only defended calmly and efficiently. Torek's claws twitched in frustration.
They stop us without striking. They block us without fighting.
This is impossible. Vena's glow pulsed softly. Impossible only because you cannot understand them. Humans are strong not because they strike first. They are strong because they act with knowledge, clarity, and order. You act with panic. That is why you fail to match them. Shalor floated above the room. Notice how calmness gives them an advantage. Notice how patience allows them to grow while we argue. Panic weakens, clarity strengthens. That is the lesson you must learn, though few will accept it. Meanwhile, humans continued building colonies farther into unclaimed sectors. Engineers monitored energy systems, water, and food. Scientists mapped new planets, sending back data to colonies to ensure sustainability. Trade networks opened between human colonies and friendly alien settlements. Alex walked through a research facility on a large moon. Every system we stabilize, every colony we establish increases our security without conflict. That is what they fear, not war, not fleets. Calm growth is the power they do not understand.
Lily added, and we help those who want help. We do not force.
We do not conquer. That is why they panic. They are used to power being shown through aggression. Humans show power differently. Ethan looked at the map of colonies and supply routes. It is beautiful in a way. They try to stop us with fleets, spies, and threats. But we only act calmly, logically, and efficiently. That is why they fail before we even fight. At the council, Torek's fury grew. We cannot allow them to grow. They are building fleets, colonies, alliances. If we do nothing, they will surpass every one of us. Vina glimmered softly. You cannot stop them by anger or force. Every act of patience and clarity will show them your weakness, not your strength. You do not understand calm power. Perhaps you should learn. Shalor added. Every faction in this room is divided. They argue, they panic, they accuse. Humans act together without chaos, without fear. That is why they are unstoppable. Watch carefully. Learn or suffer the consequences. Humans continued their expansion. Colonies on new planets thrived. Schools taught children of all species. Medical facilities treated the sick. Energy networks ran smoothly. All of it without conflict. Alex, Lily, and Ethan observed from the bridge of a colony ship. Look at them, Alex said. They panic. They argue. They cannot act as one. Meanwhile, we act with purpose and order. That is why humans always have an advantage. Calmness is stronger than chaos. Lily nodded. And it is not just calmness. It is planning, patience, cooperation. We do not rush. We do not fight unnecessarily. That is the difference. Ethan added, they are learning, slowly, that humans cannot be controlled. They panic because they cannot predict our actions. They panic because our growth is logical, deliberate, and unstoppable. The council continued in disarray. Some factions tried to coordinate, but every attempt ended in disagreement. Torek blamed Shalor. Shalor blamed Torek. Vina tried to mediate, but her words had little effect. The more humans grew calmly, the more the council fractured. Meanwhile, humans were setting up communication networks across colonies. Drones flew silently, mapping planets and reporting back. Trade routes opened. Education and medical systems worked. Colonies became self-sufficient. Every action was measured, efficient, and peaceful. Alex watched as a new city lit up on a distant planet. Every colony, every settlement, every trade route shows that strength does not always come from fighting. Humans grow through thought, cooperation, and calm action. Lily smiled. And every colony we help shows the Council our true nature. We do not need war. We do not need threats. We act with intelligence. And that is our power. Ethan nodded. And that is why they panic. They cannot understand this kind of strength. They measure power by fear, aggression, and chaos. Humans measure it by calm action, order, and foresight. That is why we win before a battle even begins. Torek pounded the table one last time. We must act. We cannot watch them grow endlessly. Attack! Intercept! Stop them. Vina's voice remained soft. Attack, and you risk provoking what you cannot control. Observe, and you may survive. Humans do not need to fight to dominate. They grow, and you panic. That is your mistake. Shalor added, notice their calm. Notice their order. Notice how every act of patience strengthens them. This is the lesson. Panic only weakens you further. Alex, standing on the balcony of the colony ship, looked out at the stars. They cannot stop us. They cannot control us. We grow through knowledge, through calm, through action. That is humanity. They will continue to panic, and we will continue to grow. As night fell across the human colonies, lights twinkled from cities, research stations, and orbital stations. Trade ships moved silently between planets. Drones monitored the skies. People of all species worked together in peace. The council continued to argue, faction against faction, unable to act decisively. Panic spread across their communications. Torek raged, Shalor warned. Vina glimmered, trying to calm what could not be calmed. And far away, humanity continued to move forward. Step by step, colony by colony, system by system, building a presence that no fear could halt. Their calm, their order, their intelligence, and their patience made them unstoppable in ways the council could not yet comprehend. Alex looked at Lily and Ethan. This is only the beginning. They panic because they cannot understand. We grow because we can. That is humanity's advantage, and it will only grow stronger. And they will learn, slowly, or they will fall behind. Ethan smiled. Either way, the galaxy is changing, and humans are at the center of it. Calmness, patience, and intelligence will win every time. And with that, humanity continued its quiet, unstoppable expansion, leaving the fractured and panicked council behind, showing a new kind of strength that the galaxy had never seen before. The human fleet moved steadily through the empty reaches of space. Every ship was lit softly, engines humming in quiet precision. Alex Carter stood on the bridge of the lead ship, watching distant stars. "We have come far," he said to Lily and Ethan. "Every system we touch, every colony we build, shows what humans are capable of." Lily nodded. "And the council is still panicking behind us. They cannot act in time. They do not understand calm, careful growth. That is our strength." Ethan smiled. "And they never will. We do not fight unless we must. We grow, we build, we teach, and we act with patience. That is the difference." Humans had established dozens of colonies across unclaimed sectors. Each colony was self-sufficient, with clean water, energy, and food. Cities glimmered with soft lights. Trade networks connected them efficiently. Schools taught both humans and friendly alien species. Medical centers treated the sick. Scientists explored planets and mapped resources. Every action was measured, precise, and peaceful. On a small green planet, Alex walked through a bustling city square. Children of many species played together. Robots and humans worked side by side, moving supplies and maintaining systems. Merchants traded goods fairly. Engineers checked the energy grid, and farmers monitored crops. Every action was calm and purposeful, Lily observed from the observation deck above. Everything works perfectly. Supply lines are strong. Communications are clear. Colonies are thriving. Ethan looked at the growing map of systems connected to the human network. The Council cannot stop this. They cannot control this. They can only watch, panic, and argue while we continue to grow. Far behind them, in the Council chambers, panic reached its highest point. Torque slammed his claws on the table. They expand every day. They gain allies. They grow stronger without attacking. What are we doing while they move freely? Vina's glow pulsed softly. You argue, you panic, you send fleets, and yet nothing works. Observe. Learn. Calmness and planning are their weapons. You cannot fight them the way you fight others. Shalor's telepathy reached out to several delegates. Every act of fear only strengthens humans' position. Watch them carefully. Act with patience, or you will suffer consequences. Some minor species began to see the truth. They whispered to one another, realizing humans were different. Humans did not conquer. Humans did not fight without reason. Humans grew through calm action, intelligence, and cooperation. Meanwhile, humans reached the edge of a new star system. Orbital stations glimmered as ships landed. Colonists disembarked with supplies. Engineers checked energy networks, and scientists prepared exploration teams. Aliens who wished to work with humans came freely, and humans welcomed them. Alex looked at the city developing below. This is the strength they cannot see. Not weapons, not fleets, not anger. Only calm action, foresight, and cooperation. That is what humans are. Lily smiled. Every colony, every system, every trade route is a lesson to the Council. Power does not need aggression. Strength does not need fear. They do not understand this, Ethan added, and they will never fully understand. That is why panic rules them while order guides us. Back in the Council, Torek roared again. We must act! We cannot watch them control sectors without a fight. We cannot. Vina's voice remained calm. You cannot stop them with anger. You cannot control them with fear. Every act of aggression would only show your weakness. Humans grow because they act wisely, observe, and learn. That is your only hope. Shalor added, they build networks of trust and cooperation. They gain allies through reason, not force. This is their power, and you cannot match it with panic. Meanwhile, humans continued expanding. Colonies became cities. Cities became trading hubs, and trade routes connected multiple systems. Humans shared technology with alien species who wished to learn. They taught medicine, agriculture, and engineering. They built schools, hospitals, and research stations. Alex walked through a new research lab. Scientists and engineers worked quietly but efficiently. Every system we settle peacefully increases our strength, he said. We do not need to fight to grow. We do not need to conquer to lead, Lily added, and every action is visible. They see our colonies, our trade, our cooperation, and they panic because they cannot understand it. That is our advantage. Ethan watched a group of alien children learning with human teachers. Every act of calm growth shows the Council that humans cannot be controlled by fear. That is why they panic, and we win without a battle. Far across the galaxy, factions in the Council argued endlessly. Some suggested attacking human colonies, but most feared consequences they could not calculate. Others proposed sending spies, but they knew humans would notice quickly. The Council could not act as one. Panic had fractured them. Torek pounded the table. We must stop them. We must act. Vina's voice, soft but firm, cut through the chaos. You cannot stop them. You cannot control them. They grow through order, reason, and calm action. You cannot match this with panic. Accept it, and perhaps you may survive. Shalor floated above the council chamber. Notice their calm. Notice their planning. They expand without attacking. They teach without forcing. That is their power, and it cannot be stopped by fear or anger. Meanwhile, humans continued their expansion into new sectors. Every colony was self-sufficient. Trade routes connected settlements. Observatories tracked nearby systems. Communication networks linked every colony with the fleet and other human settlements. Alex stood on a balcony of the orbital station above a major colony. Look at this, he said. Every system we stabilize, every settlement we build, shows that calmness and intelligence are stronger than fear and aggression. Lily nodded. And every system we help shows the Council the true nature of humanity. We do not fight to dominate. We grow to live. And that is something they cannot stop. Ethan smiled. They panic because they cannot understand calm strength. They measure power by weapons and fleets. We measure it by order, planning, and cooperation. That is why humans always succeed. Small alien factions began reaching out to humans voluntarily. They offered trade, knowledge, and even military support, not for control, but for cooperation. Habit them without demands, strengthening alliances naturally. Back in the Council, Torek's frustration reached its peak. They expand. They gain allies. They grow stronger every day. How can we stop them? How can we control them? Vina glimmered softly. You cannot stop them. You cannot control them. They do not need to fight to dominate. They grow, they teach, they cooperate, and you panic. That is your mistake. Shalor whispered to smaller factions. Notice their calm. Notice their order. Humans build without attacking, teach without forcing, expand without anger. This is their power. Panic blinds you. Learn or suffer the consequences. Alex, watching a new colony come online, smiled. Every act of calmness, every act of planning, every act of cooperation strengthens us. We do not fight without cause. We do not conquer without need, and that is why humans are unstoppable in a galaxy full of fear, Lily added. And every colony we help, every system we stabilize, shows the Council and the galaxy our true nature. We do not need war. We do not need threats. We only need order, intelligence, and patience. Ethan looked at the stars ahead. They panic while we act. They argue while we build. They fear while we teach. That is humanity's advantage, and it will continue to grow. The Council continued in disarray. Some tried to act, but their fleets moved inefficiently. Others debated endlessly. Panic ruled their halls. Humans had already moved far beyond the sectors they controlled. The galaxy was quietly but steadily changing, with humanity at the center. Alex turned to Lily and Ethan. This is only the beginning. We do not need to fight to lead. We do not need war to grow. We act with calmness, intelligence, and cooperation. That is our power. Lily smiled. And they will see it. Slowly. Or they will fall behind. Ethan nodded. Either way, humanity has changed the galaxy forever. Calm, careful growth, intelligence, and cooperation, these will guide us forward. The human colonies continued to thrive. Cities glowed softly in the night. Trade ships moved efficiently between planets. Observation stations reported back to fleets. Schools educated the young of many species. Hospitals healed the sick. Every system worked in quiet harmony. And far away the council remained in panic. Torek raged. Chalor warned. Vinna tried to calm. But no action could stop humanity. Calmness, order, patience, and intelligence had triumphed over panic, fear, and chaos. Alex looked at the horizon of a new planet. This is the future. Not through war, not through fear, but through calm, careful, intelligent action. Humanity will thrive, and the galaxy will learn to respect us. Slowly they will understand that strength is not measured by fear, but by clarity and purpose, Lily added. And they will learn whether they like it or not. Calmness and intelligence cannot be ignored. Ethan smiled. The galaxy is changing, and humans are at the center. Step by step, system by system, colony by colony, we will continue to grow, and nothing can stop us. And with that, humanity continued to expand, quietly and efficiently, leaving the panicked and fractured council behind. They built colonies, formed alliances, shared knowledge, and spread their influence across the stars, showing the galaxy a new kind of power, one that did not need war, fear, or aggression to succeed. The council could only watch, panic, and learn too late. That calm, patient, and intelligent action was humanity's greatest weapon.